Cannabis is legal in Canada. Not something I thought I would know. I'm not much of a drinker. I'm not a drug taker. I'm an eater, for fucking sure of it. I've only had one previous drug experience, and that was when I was once in Amsterdam, and I had a space cake. And I complained at the bakery because it was very dry. They'd spent no time or effort on the cake part of it at all. It was just a bun. It was even called a space cake. I wanted to say to the guys there, like, be more creative with your drug-based confectionery items. If I worked there, there'd be banoffee high. That would be nice. A crack forest gatto. Who wouldn't want that? Eton meth. Over Christmas, you could have kettle mince pies. And a spliffy toffee pudding. But I was in Canada for work. I was there with two female friends, similar age to me. We had one night off where I decided to have a night of debauchery. Now, debauchery looks different to different people. I'd like you to remember that as we work our way through the story. One of the girls said, let's get some edibles. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm starving. Turns out doesn't mean lunch. She wanted to go in this edible shop. I was nervous of this because I thought it's going to be full of cool people who've done this sort of thing before, and I'm going to like a total square because I haven't. Couldn't have been further from the truth. It was a really nice experience. We go to this shop, really helpful young man talks us through it all. He said, first of all, have any of you done this before? Two of us had, one of us hadn't. He didn't really need to ask me. I still had my blazer on. He said, if you haven't done it before, you should start with a partial one, the little jelly sweets, if you don't know. Start with a partial one, then after about 45 minutes, you know how that's affected you, and you can decide if you want to stop there or have a bit more. Good plan. So we bought some, all sorts of flavours, watermelon flavour. The thing that worried me is that I fucking love a jelly sweet. I was worried I was going to end up off my tits just because I wanted more sweets. So because of that, went straight from that shop into a supermarket, bought normal sweets for Sarah, thank you. We go back to the hotel, there's a nice restaurant there. That's where we decide to have our evening meal. Because it's a night of debauchery, I order myself half a shandy. Now, that might not seem like a big deal to you guys, but that's all I drink alcohol-wise, and I only do it 3 or maybe 4 times a year, so it hits me hard and it hits me fast. Over the course of the meal, I probably drank like a third of that, so a third of a half, a sixth of shandy. And one of the girls said to me, how big is your room? We're all staying in the same hotel. I said, it's big enough to do drinking drugs in. I was already pissed. We go back to my room. Because it's my first time, I decided to have a third. I have a third of an edible. This is where my friends started to take the piss out of me because I set an alarm on my phone for 45 minutes. We're going to have fun, but it's going to be accurate fun. And the alarm goes off and they're looking at me to see how it's affected me. I said, to be honest, I can't really tell because I still feel a bit pissed from the 6th of shandy. They have a bit more. I stop there. We chat for about another hour. Then we all go our separate ways to bed. It's about 9:30 p.m. Fuck off. We go for a nice brunch, the 3 of us, the next day. And one of the girls said to me, did you notice it kicking more, like after we left you last night? I said, I don't really think so. She said, maybe have a bit more next time. I said, yeah, maybe. And then she looked at me. She looked at my hands. And she went, when did you paint your nails? I said, oh, you know, it might have affected me. Because after you left last night, I painted my nails and I genuinely couldn't find the ends of my fingers. That's what people say, you're supposed to know your limits. That's what they say, and I do. It's a third of an edible, a sixth of shandy, and 4 bags of Tang Fast sticks. 2 ounces of cocaine, no. See, that's where I'd fuck up. I'd use the sweet measurements and I'd apply them to drugs. I'll have 2 ounces of cocaine and a quarter of heroin. Can you put a lorry in the heroin? Let's make this motherfucker a dib-dab. Love a big handbag. Haven't always loved a big handbag. When I was sort of late teens, early 20s, I had one of those, you know, the kind of ones that goes across you. I had one of those smaller bags. It felt important at that age to have my hands free for whatever life threw at me. I was ready, be it opportunity or danger. I was fucking ready. I wanted to be able to pick up a pound coin, peel a satsuma, punch a rapist, all the things I thought might come off. Now, though, I prefer a big handbag that can contain everything I could possibly need. Give me a word if you like a big handbag. Small handbag? Prefer no handbag. More the people that scare me the most because you're not prepared for fucking anything at all. I have a friend who has a small handbag. We were comparing our bags. She noticed that my purse was the same size as her handbag. And just to give you an idea, my purse is the same size as the one my nana used to run after the ice cream van with, you know, massive and can be used as an improvised weapon if needs be. She said, you can't need everything that's in that. I said, yeah, I do. I've got bank cards. I've got other bank cards in case the first bank cards don't work. I've got cash in case none of the bank cards work. I've got gift cards. I've got club cards. I've got stamps. And she went, do you not just use Apple Pay? I said, no, because I decided 2 years ago to not learn anything new ever again, and I'm fucking loving it. I said, surely in that little bag you must have your house keys. You got your house keys? She said, yeah. She brought out one solitary key. No key ring attached, just one solitary key. I said, my first worry is how you're going to defend yourself if you have to get the last bus home late at night. Because that's what we're taught, is that you put your keys between all your fingers. One key, she's going to have to hope she's got good aim. She'll just gouge his fucking eye out.
Excuse me, Mr. Rapist, do you mind taking your glasses off, please? Thank you.
What? But that's what we're taught, isn't it? We're taught you put your keys between all your fingers. That's what we're taught in Claw Down from, 14 or 15? It's great being a woman. And I worked in a shop in my 20s. There was a lady a bit older than me worked there at the same time, and she said to me one day, you should only ever wear shoes you can run in. How fucking bleak is that? I said it back to her, because I wanted her to hear how bad it sounded. I said, you think I should only ever wear shoes that I can run in? You want me to wear magic shoes? But I brought out my set of keys to show my friend I look like I run a jail. I have emergency keys for 4 other people's houses. My friend said, you don't carry them with you all the time, though. I said, yes, I do, because I take emergencies fucking seriously. Same friend, out for the day, having a lovely day. She started her period, wasn't expecting to. Didn't have anything with her in a stupid little bag. My first thought was she's going to have to use a stupid little bag as a sanitary towel. But she looked at me all sad-eyed. She said, I haven't got anything with me. Have you got anything with you? I said, what do you think? I've got 12 nighttime towels. Wasn't even due on for 2 more weeks. That's how fucking ready I am. But for example, with what I have in my bag that I brought here today, if 12 of you started your period, I can sort you out. I've got your back. Well, it's a nighttime towel. I've got your front as well. They're fucking massive. Just take this canoe and try and hold it in place. If 6 of you got a blister, I can sort you out. Not just a pissy little plaster either. Fucking Compeed. I can give 6 of you a fucking Compeed. You sort you can't even peel off in the shower. You just have to eventually shed them like a snake. If 28 of you needed a pen, I can do it. I'm not even ashamed. If any of you got the shits, I can sort you out. I've got 2 different types of Imodium. I've got Imodium Instant and Imodium Classic. Does anybody know why Imodium Classic still exists? Who is thinking, I'd like my diarrhea to stop, but in a while? If any of you haven't had a shit today but would like one before bed, I've got fucking Senecot. Interestingly, Senecot never brought out an instant range. Because it would just be like this, ha 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 ha, bang, fuck. Glad I've got me canoe on. I had to change phone company recently. I used to be with EE because I really like Footloose, but now, well done. Now I'm with O2. It's a really petty reason why I'm with O2. It's just because my husband is with O2, and whenever he had signal and I didn't, I used to get really annoyed. It's really petty. The changeover itself is very smooth. This is not an advert for O2, by the way. You'll find out why in a second. After about a month, I noticed things weren't quite right. There's no polite way of saying this to you lovely people, but it wouldn't let me look at dicks on my phone. It wasn't just that, there's other things as well. For example, give me a woo if you've heard of a fleshlight. Yeah, if you haven't, I'll tell you what it is. A fleshlight, she has. A fleshlight is a fanny in a can, a silicone fanny in a can. A fanny in a can for the travelling man. It's another song off my country and western album. My friend hadn't heard of one. I thought it'd be really funny just to show her a picture of one. I thought that'd be hilarious. I typed in fleshlight into my phone. It just brought up the B&Q website and loads of pictures of torches. I realised it was obviously some kind of age restriction that's kicked in there, but I'm 49. I should be allowed to look at dicks on my phone if I like, which is how I started my email to O2. I should clarify that when I say pictures of dicks, it does need to be a moving image. It shouldn't be a still image, it needs to be a moving image. Dicks at work, dicks at play, you know, the sort of thing. I've got a friend who's a straight man, and he said it's the same for him in pictures of fannies. He said, and I think he's right, that if it's a still image of a fanny, it can look too much like it's out of a biology textbook, and it should have lines coming off and explain all the different bits. So I was terrible at science. See what I can remember. Petals, I think, on the outside. And then that bit there, we all know that bit, don't we? It's the most important bit of all. Even me just doing that's making mine tingle a bit, if I'm honest. Like, I don't know much about Snapchat. All I know about Snapchat is what my friend told me. My friend told me that Snapchat is for dick pics because they disappear really quickly. I don't know if you know, but there is a female equivalent term to dick pics. I didn't make this up. I fucking wish I had. The female equivalent term to dick pics is flap snaps. How good is that? Isn't it good? Tell your friends. I'd like more people to know. I don't know how you're going to bring it up in a conversation, but try your best. I think the reason that Snapchat is known more for dick pics than flap snaps, it's really fun just to say, by the way. In fact, if you want to join in, say it after 3. 1, 2, 3. It's even more fun to have 1,000 people coming back to you. Flap snaps. I think the reason that Snapchat is known more for dick pics than flap snaps is that it usually takes more than one look at a picture of a fanny to realise it's a picture of a fanny.
Is it an angry flower? Is it the inside of a Hoover bag? Is it a lorry driver's mouth? Is it just some wafer-thin ham? Is it my old grandma's forehead?
But I realised it was definitely an age restriction when I typed in Dick and it just brought up Dick Van Dyke's Wikipedia page. I did genuinely have to email O2. I got what I think is an automated response. I hope it is. I was so nervous in case it was just a nice lady called Janet replying on a Tuesday afternoon. Didn't feel like that was what Janet signed up for when she took the job on. So I emailed, and this is the reply I got. The age restriction has been lifted. You'll be sent a text message in the next 2 hours to confirm. Ooh, imminent dicks. That's not what it says.
Imminent dicks. Love, Janet.
Hello, I'm Sarah Millican, and my brand new show, Late Bloomer, is out now to stream and download from my website, sarahmillican.co.uk. It's also available on DVD.